This is Rise of the Tomb Raider. We're taking a look at this on Xbox Game Pass. Be sure to like the video. Subscribing is great as well. So this is the second entry in the Survivor series for Tomb Raider here on the Xbox Series X. It offers a fun and refreshing adventure where Lara Croft continues from her origins with Tomb Raider, which then got Tomb Raider Definitive Edition, and now you can enjoy sort of the whole experience again on the platform. This one being an interesting offering because it was an exclusive to Xbox. Whoa, what you doing, Lara? I'm supposed to look to the side and jump there. It was an exclusive for Xbox for, I think, about a year or so, and it was kind of a thing to bolster their lineup in 2015 or so when they were really kind of struggling. And yeah, quite a fascinating change up and thing here, seeing this game in action many years later and talking about what it has to offer. So obviously playing the Survivor trilogy as one whole collection I think is the best way to go about it. But you could then, I guess, to a degree, play this one by itself and just kind of get the idea of a Lara Croft that's struggling a bit emotionally with what's going on in her life, dealing with loss and dealing with some traumatic events that happened in the first rebooted Tomb Raider survival series. So very, very interesting. And then of course it leads into Shadow, which continues her gain of confidence and, you know, ability and everything like that. And it's quite interesting because you can definitely see that she gets a lot more confident as an individual, an adventurer, and you know, kind of dives into the mysteries of the world around as she continues to battle against, or I guess really starts to battle against Trinity in this one, which is quite interesting. You get an incredibly great opening here. I didn't know what direction I wanted to go with on that one, where you're going across these majestic snow peaks, and there's a few different visual options that you can enjoy in this game, and we'll be talking about each of them, what they have to offer. But yeah, it's just really cool to see this one kind of be available on Game Pass again, and talk about what it has to offer, because I think this is an absolutely fantastic game. It's just an excellent experience, and definitely a must-play if you're a fan of the Tomb Raider series or Lara Croft in general. This is a very, very fun adventure. It takes you from snowy peaks to a little bit more of a deserty type location, and then of course into some forested terrains as you deal with various hostiles and problems along the way. And then on top of that, the game has, like, I mean, it's a story mode and there's a little bit of exploration of the world, but some hub areas. Then there's expeditions where you do some little smaller battle things, and then, you know, some survival stuff, and it's got some neat DLC. The Baba Yaga expansion was kind of cool, and then, you know, it kind of goes into this mysterious world in the forest, and then on top of that we've got this really cool Bloodlines DLC, which was a fun celebration of the legacy of Tomb Raider, and it really let you get an idea of Laura's backdrop and her family and the history of this particular take on Tomb Raider. So this is kind of the, I guess you would say, primary mode, or is it just sort of a core mode? It's a native 4K at 30 FPS. There's HDR across the board. But yeah, this one kind of just like good for visuals. Looks good, looks clean. But I would say if you are going for a lower frame rate, the enriched visuals is the option to go for. So this one is a 4K resolution at 30 FPS, but it's got a lusher, more detailed environment, so it kind of just pushes some of the assets of the world a little bit higher. Kind of hard to really showcase here in the snow level. Like, this is just like a save I have sitting here for whenever I do video things. Wow, that was depressing. I meant to, you know what I meant to do. I meant to jump up there. So this mode is like, if you're going for 4K or whatever, it's like this one has a little bit more spiffy terrain, and like being an exclusive or whatever for Xbox at the time, like when the One X came out, we got a few different visual modes, which was great. So it was kind of just like, hey, now we got the publishing deal on this one or whatever. Yeah, kind of interesting to see the support that this game got, because I always thought this was a great game. I love all three of these titles. I think they're absolutely fantastic gems, and definitely worth playing if you've ever been curious about Tomb Raider. I would actually start from the beginning one. I think you get a lot more out of the series if you go from one to one to one, but, you know, all to your own and what you want to dive into. It's, you know, they're all basically available. And I'll never miss an opportunity to come in and talk about these Tomb Raider games and praise them, because I think they're absolutely excellent. Ugh.
Holy shit! I don't think I can make that jump.
Stay there.
Yeah, I know, it's pretty dangerous.
Line for you at the top.
All right, I'll give you some.
Lara Croft doesn't mess around. And then finally, we've got the fluidity mode, which is kind of my recommended option, obviously, like the high frame rate. So this one's 1080p at 60 FPS. There's other visual settings you can adjust, but not a whole lot of stuff. Little smaller details here or there you can change, but for the most part, that's kind of how it is. But yeah, the frame rate here, you know, like obviously the resolution drops a bit, but like the fluidity level is kind of well worth it for the action sequences and just how much more real and fast-paced everything feels. It's quite an excitement, honestly, going to this. So I would say going for this mode would kind of be my suggested thing, unless you really want those visuals bumped up, and then, you know, the enriched mode I think is sort of a good option for you.
We made it. I see the ruins.
Well, that's good. Hopefully nothing bad happens. So yeah, Laura's here, and then there's Jonah, the faithful companion helper, and, you know, overall pal, emotional support pal for Lara Croft, dealing with all these
Can you hear me?
problems and stuff. Pretty ride or die, I'll tell you that much. And yeah, it's quite interesting.
Over there.
Just take me to that fully swingable thing. But yeah, the game's got a good mix of puzzle-based gameplay where you're trying to solve, you know, challenges, and then it's got action sequences, and then combat, and then a little bit of you're improving your skills so that you become slightly more powerful, and your survivor stuff increases. And, you know, then they take that a little bit further when you go to Shadow of the Tomb Raider, which comes afterwards, and that one's also a great time. And yeah, it's just kind of like a really, really good series of games. Genuinely, I think if you're jumping in and playing these for the first time, you are going to have a riot of a time. Like, this is just like the opening, and you can already tell, like, how intense it is. And, like, I've got a full save there that's, like, post-game, and everything's set up. I think you even have, like, a walkthrough that people still go back to, that one, and Shadow of the Tomb Raider, because there's, like, some tricky spots here or there that people often need help with. So yeah, I'm always happy to do that. I really do genuinely think these games are absolutely excellent. So yeah, never mind jumping back in, having an excuse to play them. It's not as intense for me though, because like I've finished the story stuff, and they are story games, so it's kind of like, oh, you know, what are you doing unless you're revisiting them? And it's I've played through the stories on these ones a couple times, and I've certainly felt that I've gotten some great value out of them. So if you've missed somehow these Tomb Raider games over the years, I think they've been available so many times, it's like I don't really know how you'd have missed them, but, you know, now it's your good warning to come in and give them a whirl, you know. As I said, you can play this one by itself if you want. This one I think is considered by most to be the best out of the Survivor Trilogy series, but personally, I like all of them. I actually really love Shadow, too. I think that one's great, and I think people are a little overly intense about it, but I think that's a wonderful Tomb Raider experience. And it's just neat, because the first game, you're just like a young, regular, you know, aged woman and stuff. It's kind of funny, because like, I would say age-wise, it kind of mirrors how I've gotten old as well, where it was like, when that one came out, you know, I think I was around that age, and then, you know, she slightly gets older, and the second one, and slightly older, and even more confident, stronger by the third one, and it just kind of makes a lot of sense, and it just kind of works for age progression, and, yeah, it's neat. It really is. Oh, here's where she's back in London dealing with problems. She's got her classic wear on, classic style. This is kind of what kickstarts the whole adventure. There's always some kind of weird thing going on in London. We're just going to go ahead and skip that and get back to what we were doing. That's where I was talking about a little bit of a desert terrain. This area is beautiful, too. Very, very cool. So this is the fun of the Tomb Raiders. Traditionally and stuff is you get to go to different places and go on a special adventure. And
There should be an oasis in the canyon just ahead.
yeah, I love this iteration of Lara Croft. I think they did an excellent job with her. Just much more relatable and natural, realistic, and yeah. Always enjoy this character. Oh, and there's lots of like collectibles too you can find in these games, so it's kind of like sort of saying the skill-based kind of thing where it's like, oh, you're gathering skills and your ability to interact with things. And
Someone, didn't you?
They paid better than you.
they paid better than you.
Shit, they weren't supposed to shoot at us.
Get us out of here!
Shit.
You're gonna die, man. Wasn't smart. I'd want my money back. Hey, look, we arrived. Yeah, I was always kind of assuming we'd end up in Egypt at some point too, because there's so many like teases in this series. But yeah, they're going for like a unification thing, which I think is going to be weird. Like the old version of Lara with the newer one, and I think it clashes too much. They feel like different characters to me, if that makes sense. For different generations. See, great sense of scale. I feel like we honestly don't get these Tomb Raider games often enough. Like, they're ambitious, they're fun, they're great, you know, they're pretty visually boundary breaking, but I feel like just with the scale of them, we should get them more often.
There was something in Dad's research about this.
Oh, was there?
It was said the Prophet's tomb was hidden in the cliffs above one of the forgotten cities. Legend speaks of an oasis where the Prophet was laid to rest.
Do you think that's what we're gonna find here?
Something's here.
This game also has some really interesting technology for the time, too.
Could this
Like, I would imagine at some point they'll do, like, a remastering of this trilogy. Like, I don't... Like, the first game still looks pretty good. It's feeling a bit more aged. I think this game still looks really good, but I can definitely see where there's some elements of it that are, you know, aging a little bit. Even Shadow, I'm kind of like, okay, here or there, but I think that one looks really, really good. But I think it is only a matter of time before they dip these in a more modern engine and kind of, like, re-release them, upgraded and stuff.
this word?
Also, the performances for these games are absolutely remarkable.
This is it.
Like, the acting in that absolutely carried Lara. We found it. Good for us. Also, it was really neat seeing, like, the character gets, like, dirtied and stuff based on what you're doing. That was always fun. And,
A secret.
like, that was kind of, like, the original game sort of had it, but it was really a definitive edition thing. Because they were trying to find enticing things they could add to kind of increase the value of Tomb Raider Definitive Edition. And they were like, all of the items on Lara's body, they all jingle and everything, like, all of her little items. Which you see is, like, a natural part of the series now in this one.
I've seen this.
But, you know, they were sort of static in the original version of the game. Because it was like a 360 title, right? And then they also added the ability where it's like basically water and sweat and stuff on her body basically like dries or wettens over time based on what she's interacting with properties wise within the environment.
Already here.
I always found that to be kind of fascinating. Just weird little quality of life sort of things. But you can see how it just like seamless and easygoing this all kind of flows. Which I love. It's just like one action set piece after another, and lots of small little bits here or there in between to fill the gaps. Very, very well done game. Like, honestly, this is, like I said, quite a must play for sure. The whole series, like, do yourself a favor and don't miss out on these games. They're very, very good experiences. Like, I think Lara Croft really comes alive in these ones. When I hear the recording, it kind of reminds me of like Evil Dead, where it's like the Necronomicon, the Book of the Dead. Hope there's no spiders or anything.
Damn it. Come on.
Well, you had to know there's gonna be a body or two here, Laura. There always is. These games are so awesome. And really, if you can, I do recommend like the DLC on this one. As I was saying, like the Baba Yaga and the Bloodline stuff is very, very good and adds to the, you know, fleshes out the world. The expeditions things are okay, but the actual story content really adds to it.
Armed soldiers against religious pilgrims. The Order of Trinity.
Yeah, there's light crafting stuff too.
Too close.
Uh-oh.
They're blasting their way in.
The only way up is we've got to fill this with water.
Let's hope this works.
Why wouldn't it? I've done it before. Yeah. Yeah, you know, you play a game a number of times and you kinda... A lot of it gets down packed. You don't remember everything, but you remember a lot of it. Who makes traps like this? Come on, Laura, you got this. Poor girl, always getting these dangerous life or death situations. Even the physics here and stuff are just awesome. It's the mist from Dark Souls. Not just kidding. Look at that, eh?
Stunning. We made it, Dad.
The thing is, it looks good, but I can definitely see where they could take things further if they wanted to remaster this at some point. Not that it needs it, but, you know, it's something they could do.
Got to find a way to get up higher.
Well, we're gonna have to break all of the water so that it dynamically comes down. It's the only way. And the floodgates open. Your first taste of puzzles. Like, there really are some interesting puzzles in this. Like, I don't think anything was, like, too hardcore. There's a few where I had to sit there for a little bit to, like, really figure out. But I don't think it was anything too frustrating to work through. And I always felt that it largely delivered puzzles-wise and stuff. And it brings an interesting element of, like, it tries to keep the pacing going while also making you think a little bit, while also giving some challenge, while giving some combat, get some danger. Yeah, no, they do a great job on these games. As I've been saying, like, I mean, it's pretty obvious I'm quite a fan of these titles. But there's always, like, a Tomb Raider for different generations of gamers. Definitely one of gaming's most iconic individuals. Good thing she's got supernatural slow-mo skills. She studied under Max Payne, I heard. Oh yeah, that's actually kind of hilarious. But at least it's not too cruel of an area. Very natural movements too on the character and stuff. Anyways, definitely play this and enjoy it. It's a fantastic game.